Hello, my name is Allison Younger, and I'll be doing my presentation on the single-parent family. Single parenthood can be one of life's biggest challenges. Seemingly overnight, women and men may find themselves assuming the responsibilities of raising their children on their own. Although in some ways these new parenting circumstances can be just as satisfying an experience as shared parenting with a spouse, there are problems unique to single parenthood. I'd like to start this presentation with giving you a background on the statistics of the issue. In the United States, you'll see that we've compared the data from the year 2000 and 2009. The African American race has a significantly higher likelihood of single-parent families, as do, say, the Asians and the Pacific Islanders, or even Caucasian families. The Asian and Pacific Islander group is the only group that has shown a decrease over the years of the instance of single-parent families. The American Indian has had the largest increase, with a 10% difference over the years 2000 and 2009. Next, we'll look at single-parent families in Ohio. In the year 2000, 31% of all households were comprised of single-parent families. You'll see that most of the groups are roughly about the same as the national average, except for the African American group, which is significantly higher than the rest of the groups. Moving on to the year 2009, the Ohio groups have shown an increase, just like the national average. It is now up to 35% from 31%. Again, everything stays remotely the same, with the African American group still being higher than average. Now we're going to take a look at the average single parent. 13.7 million single parents are raising 21.8 billion children. The average single parent is a mother, with over 84% of single parents being women. If we break down those groups, 45% are divorced or separated from their father of the child, 34.2% have never been married, 19% are remarried, and 1.7% are widowed. In the bottom right corner, you'll see a picture of my daughter and I. I am a single mother of a 6-month-old. The average single parent is an employed mother. 79.5% of custodial mothers do work. 49.8% do work full-time, while the 29.7% work part-time or part-year. Contrary to popular belief, single mothers are not poverty-stricken. Only 27% of single mothers and children live in poverty. A surprising fact is that 39% of single mothers are older than 40 years of age. The average single mother does not receive public assistance. 22% do receive Medicaid, 23.5% receive food stamps, 12% get public housing, and 5% do receive TANF, or the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. The average single mother has one child. Now, while the percentages are not that different, 54% have one child, 46% have more than one child. If we look at the flip side, single fathers, 16% of custodial parents are fathers. That number has drastically increased over the years. More and more fathers are given custodial parenting of the children, unlike over the past couple decades, where it was almost always given to the mothers. Of single fathers, 57.8% are divorced from the mother, 20.9% were never married, 20% are remarried, and less than 1% are widowed. 90% of single fathers are employed, 71.7% of them employed full-time, and 18.4% work part-time. And only 12.9% do live in poverty. Now we'll look at the difference in the increase in single-parent homes from 1970 to 2009. You'll see that there has been a steady increase over the years, with a large jump occurring between 1970 and 79 and 1983 to 1989. We'll discuss why on the next slide. There are numerous well-documented studies that indicate that families are changing on a global level. During the past 3 centuries, the structure, organization, characteristics, and interactions of American families have revolutionized. The traditional family structure that encompassed the mother, father, and children is no longer the norm. This change in the structure of families is the outcome of rapid social change that occurred between 1970 and 1980, heightened by a change in the status and roles of women. The rise in single-parent families in America was also most prominent during the periods 1979 to 1983, 1989 to 1993, and 2000 to 2003, which were periods of significant economic downturn. Over the years, the causes of single parenting have changed along with societal values. There are studies that suggest that the current rise in single mothering is a result of a collapse of social morality in today's society. Traditionally, the primary cause of single parenting was the death of a spouse. A vast majority of single-parent families is now the result of divorce and illegitimacy. In the 1960s, a wave of change in divorce law swept the United States and Western Europe. Since then, the divorce rate has continued to escalate. Single mother families are currently the most common of all family groups. Single women of different backgrounds are now raising their children without the assistance of a father. Underlying this change is a new attitude regarding marriage and a new perception among modern-day cultures that regards marriage as a partnership that is dissolvable the instant that the needs of either partner is not satisfied. Reports indicate that 1 in every 4 children is born out of wedlock, many of them being born to teenage mothers, although teenage motherhood is decreasing. Although most women still want to marry, they now realize that they do not have to marry to have children. Many single mothers report that they acquired this status unintentionally. Nevertheless, once a woman becomes a single mother, the complexity of her life increases. Being a single mother is a harsh reality that many women, especially those who are unmarried, and are not prepared for it. Due to the transition from having 2 incomes to 1 income, many single mothers experience economic struggles. Absentee fathers' refusal to provide financial or child care support further compounds this situation. As a result, single mothers are usually the sole breadwinner and caregiver for their families, and often struggle with the dilemma of how to balance work and family. Single mothers also reportedly face a plethora of economic inequalities that fuel their economic hardship and compromise their financial independence. Although single parenthood may be a dramatic change from the life you once had or imagined, it can be a workable, rewarding family situation. Particularly when it occurs in the aftermath of divorce, it may be a more desirable circumstance than the tumultuous marriage that preceded it. Many single parents describe the contentment they feel in having put the tension and dissension of their marriage behind them and in making a new life for themselves and their children. As children see their mothers succeeding in the workplace, they often develop more respect for them. The children of working mothers also usually have a broadened view of what women can accomplish in life. Not surprisingly, then, girls raised in a single-parent household tend to see an expanded range of occupational opportunities for themselves later in life. Although a single mother's work schedule may reduce the amount of time she spends with her children, those hours tend to become much more precious for everyone. Single parents often develop closer relationships with their children than do parents in more traditional 2-parent families. Other relationships may become more important too, such as the children's connections with their uncles, aunts, or grandparents. What does a successful single-parent family look like? Parents accept the challenges presented to them as single parents, and they are determined to do their best. Single parents make parenting their first priority. They discipline in a consistent and democratic fashion. Parents are neither permissive or too restrictive. Parents empathize open communication and expression of feelings. Parents recognize the need to care for themselves. They develop or maintain traditions and rituals for their families. Parents become financially self-sufficient and independent, and parents are successful at time management. Here's a list of some famous people who were brought up by single parents: President Barack Obama, Michael Phelps the Olympian, Lance Armstrong the athlete, Benjamin Bratt, Bill Cosby, and Tom Cruise are all actors, and Julia Roberts and Angelina Jolie are actresses. Single parenthood is not doomed. It can be done successfully.